Morning, welcome back to the channel. I'm just at this DX210. I was here servicing it last week and the driver reported a error code that would come on occasionally. He'd switch the machine off, switch it back on again, and it would clear. So it's a temperamental fault code, but I had this on this customer's other DX210, which was just after the engine course that I did for the engines that are in this, and believe it or not, when we went into the workshop and simulated an error code, the error code was for the environment temperature sensor. So when I finished that engine course, I went up to the 210 and I knew exactly what I was doing, and yeah, I've got this code again on this other 210. So what I'm looking at is the environment temperature sensor here is showing that it's 48 degrees now. The best one in the world. You know, not against Scotland or out like that, but I don't think Scotland has ever seen a temperature of 48 degrees before. So I've got a new sensor on the van. I just need to take a couple of snapshots of this and I'll replace the sensor and we should be able to see a marked difference in it. Okay. The environment sensor sits in the back of there on the back of the air cleaner. I've just installed the new sensor. I'll go back in the cab now and see what it's reading temperature wise. So if you remember before, it was reading, what was it reading, about 48 degrees temperature. It's now reading 13, which is much more accurate for this Scottish climate. That's that job done. Right, I need to pretty much pack up now. It's probably taken us longer to get the extension lead out, my wires plugged into the machine, establish a connection and blah blah blah, then it has to change that sensor, but needs must. Right, yeah, I just need to grab a couple more bits off the ECU and that's me finished here. Just stopped to open that gate and one, none, none, one. That sort of thing really plagues my happiness. I'm gonna have to sort that as soon as possible. That is an urgent job to do. I like to get some proper ones like they're Amazon specials. Woman should have known better. £4 a piece or something. I like to put my hand in my pocket for some Hello ones. Yeah, I'm gonna need to find time to give the van a good square up. I haven't given the inside a good clean up for, well, it'll be months now, like. Lots of dust and crumbs and all sorts in here, which I normally like to stay on top of, but as you've seen, I've been very busy, and yeah, even just see last night there when I washed that 5-tonner off, every inch of me wanted to wash the van off when I finished, but yeah, I need to get back home, so yeah, the van needs a good wash. I just need a couple of hours just to have a good square up with it. Like I'll pick up 6 Hella marker lamps from Cumbria Autos. Lesson learned, don't rely on, I mean, what, they've not even done a year, those front marker lights, and in actual fact I've already replaced one. So yeah, there's truth in the saying, what is it, a penny richer, a pound poorer. Is that how it goes? Save a penny to spend a pound, something like that, innit? Right, I'm just quietly getting out of the woods here. I'm sort of cross country now, a bit close to Carlisle up in the hills. I've got a 3-ton, it's a Terex dumper. I think it just needs fuel filters changing from what I've been told, and I think it needs a forward reverse switch fitting. So a little 3-ton Terex dumper. I'm not 100% sure what the story is with this. Yeah, this job came in while I was on holiday. Customer did phone me asking if we had fuel filters for it, and I said we probably would. And the last I heard, he was going to collect the fuel filters and put the filters on himself. And the next thing I hear, he wanted me to do it and fit a forward reverse switch as well. So I've got fuel filter. What else have I got? Another fuel filter. Presume it's forward reverse switch. Looks similar. That would be the bag that it came in. So I have to put fuel filters on it and fit the forward reverse switch by the looks, which shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I'll probably tackle the forward reverse switch first. I'll pull this one out the box and have a look, make sure it's going to be compatible. You can see this someone's been at it before, haven't they? It's been bonded into position, and the issue with it is when I've just pulled it forward there to get around the engine, it doesn't stay in forward, hence why we've got a bit of elastic just to keep it in forward look. Anyway, that evidently falls off too. I'm gonna have to try and melt that glue somehow. Oh joys. But yeah, it looks similar to this one, doesn't it? Forward, reverse. Presume I'll have to see which way around it goes, because I don't want to put it like that, so that's in forward and that's in backwards. Better take note when I pull it apart. Right, I'll take this load of M6 bolts, I'll whiz them off. Yeah, as expected, it's a bit of a rat's nest in there, so what I'd like to try and do is get the old lever out and then work on it, because that just looks a bit like hard work trying to work in the back of there. So I'll grab I don't know what I'm going to use to get that. Heat it up and hope for the best, I think. Hopefully melt it all off. Don't catch fire. Don't catch fire. Maybe get a screwdriver and scratch away at it now. Oh, it stinks. Right. Grab something to... It's softened it like. I'm sure that it's just... I don't know what to do. Grab a pair of pliers maybe. Well, it isn't obvious to me, anyway, which way around this goes, because obviously you could turn that through 180 degrees and it'd look the same, and it is very, very similar, but not the same, you know, in which way those terminals are pointing. I think it's just going to be a case of wire it up and see what happens, and if I need to, I'm going to have to unwire everything and flip it over that way. Right. Let's have a look. Second thoughts though, I don't suppose it really matters as long as the wires are the right way around. It's just an on-off switch, isn't it? Yeah. Doesn't really matter. So, right, I'll put you on a time lapse while I do this. Why can't they just have a multi-plug? Why? Why does it have to be 8 pins to transfer? Anyway, it's the second time I've transferred it now. I swapped it from this one to this one and went to try it, and when I turn the ignition on, obviously that's in neutral, it thinks it's in reverse. Also thinks it's in reverse that way as well. So I thought I'd managed to get myself all confused. So I wired the original one back up, and that works perfectly, forward, reverse, or reverse and forward. So I took even more time and care and effort swapping the wires over. Still doesn't do it. Guess all at the end of the day is that bit there isn't detenting, so maybe I can swap the switches off the back of this one onto the new one, which has got the detent in here. I'll maybe look at doing that. Let's see. Okay, update. I tried pulling that switch pack off the back of here and it snapped and fell to pieces. That was a real head in hands moment, I'm not gonna lie. I thought to myself, why did I even bother? Anyway, I put it back together and I tested how the switch worked. So in neutral on this switch, these two here had continuity. In reverse, these two had continuity. It was the same on this side, but for the opposite direction. So it looks as though these switches are the opposite way around to the original, if that is an original switch. So I've basically swapped the wires around like that, same on the other side, and now I haven't tried it yet, but that's in the neutral position at the minute. If I try and put it forwards, which way is forwards? There, the park brake light comes on to tell you that you've got the park brake on, and if I put it into reverse, reverse beeper comes on, and so does that light. So in theory, that should work. Come on. Right. Forward. Reverse. That works. Thank goodness for that. Why do these jobs that you look at and you think, right, when I'm planning my day, I'm thinking, well, I was right. I said to the fella with that DX210, I'll be up there for 9:30. I was there, bang on the nose, 9:30. Phoned this fella up to say I was coming to see this dumper. Said I'll be here for about 11:30. And right enough, pulled in through the gates there, 11:25. So, and I think to myself, right, got a forward reverse switch to fit, and by the look of it, 2 fuel filters. An hour and a half tops, so I'll be back in Carlisle for 2 o'clock. That there's taken 40 minutes. Right, I'll plumb that switch in, I'll get some fuel filters changed. Right, I've had a look over I've had a glance at the filters before I take them off. I've got an inline filter and a canister filter. That looks a similar size. Not too sure whether it's got a drain bolt on it or not. That looks about right. And then this is a fuel filter. Oh, it's an inline one, look. Hell, look at that. Well, it's definitely got an inline filter and a filter that looks like that, so we might be in luck with the correct filter. I'll tell you what, while I am on, I'll show you. Hang on. Right, you would not believe the amount of comments I get about my filter players. What filter players are you using? There was one recent comment, I was servicing that 27 asking, and I was using these filter players. That's the make of them there, if you want to pause it and Google that. I got them, they were out of our stores up at HQ. I spotted them, they looked a handy size just when these ones were too big. They're pretty good. Unless the filter's tight, then I'll use them. But they're a handy size. These ones here, I'm pretty sure these are an Amazon special because it's only this year that I've got these ones back. I left these on a machine about 3 years ago, and the fella's had them in his pickup for about 3 years. And don't get me wrong, I've been to service his machine dozens of times, but we've both just forgot. So I've got them back. But before I had them ones, I had these. These definitely were an Amazon special. Premier, I think that says. Premier filters. So these filter plates, these do go slightly wider than these ones, I've noticed. And then these ones, these might have been, I'm sure these were Amazon as well, to be honest with you. I just look for the widest sort of pipe players I can find. But yeah, they're all good, can't complain. Occasionally the nuts work loose, but you just get used to just putting them finger tight again. It's got a nylock nut on it, which is probably what I should put on there, but yeah, they're very good, they are. Right, I'll go and change these 2 filters. There we go, job done. I'm going to head back through to Carlisle. It'll be about, what time is it now? 1:25. It'll be the back of 2. It'll be 2:15, I reckon. We'll see. Right, yeah, we'll see you back at the yard. Right, I'm in the workshop with this 27. I've got a fan motor to go in it. This is the one I went to go and see. I thought it was the switch. Got the switch, but it isn't the switch. I thought the resistor pack was in there because the wiring diagram didn't show. I didn't think it showed anyway. I could be wrong. I'll show you later if I remember. But yeah, that's the resistor pack on the bottom of there, and right enough, it's caboodled. So yeah, I'm going to replace this lot. That'll sort it. There was somebody in the comments that said about the resistors on the fan motors, and I'll be honest with you, I've come across it before on it was a Manitou telehandler, and that was the resistors on the motors causing the exact same fault as what this one was presenting. But yeah, when I looked at the schematic, I'll show you later, like, unless I'm reading it wrong, there was nothing to do with resistors. Well, you know my thoughts about rebuilding the inside of these interiors. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I should be able to hear this fan working properly now. If I put my phone here, you'll hear it. Job done. Also sorted out this. It's up in the up position there. I'm wobbling the lever. Now what's happening? That was the spool for the pilot cut-off solenoid. Pilot cut-off spool. Where the solenoid goes onto. What else have I done with this? He was coming back through to Carlisle, see, so he just said I'll just chuck it in the yard for you. So also remounted this because this was flopping about in the wind. I've drilled them out and re-tapped them and put some bolts in. Keep that tidy. Right, put this floor mat back in. And that'll be the day put in, just about. Right, I've just left that end machine running. I've just washed it off. There was a bit of oil about when I replaced that pilot cut-off spool, so I've just given it a rinse down, make sure it's okay. I'm probably gonna have to leave the video at that for this week. I've got bits and pieces that I wasn't going to be doing that I'm going to be doing tomorrow now, so I'm not going to get those machines serviced. So that's gonna go on into next week now. Start next week. I've got an 8.5 tonner that was running and it cut out and won't restart. That's a Yanmar engine, but that's a common rail engine, so I don't think we're going to have the same fight with that one as we had with that 6 tonner. So yeah, I'll leave it at that for the video. I hope you all have a good weekend. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a like and if you haven't already, click the subscribe button too, because it means a lot. Right, thanks for watching, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.